The story begins with a girl named Rin who is getting married. She's asked the ceremonial question whether she accepts Kazu as her husband and to love and honor him for the rest of her life. Smiling, she agrees without hesitation. However, this is not happening in real life, but rather in a game. The game is called Dusky Plains, an open-world MMO known for its realistic graphics and immersive user roleplay. Upon completing the ceremony, Kazu is awarded a commemorative item. Rin, filled with joy, calls out to him with the hope that they'll stay happy together. Kazu responds with a simple, casual, "Yeah!" Rin, surprised by the lack of enthusiasm, asks him if that's really all he wants to say. They first met 4 years ago. Back then, Rin was a beginner, just starting out in the game. They got randomly matched up in a dungeon. As Kazu guided her through the game, they began to understand each other better and grew closer. As he progressed through the game, Kazu completed all the achievements except one, to get married to a beloved partner. So one day, he casually asks her if she would like to marry him. She's taken aback by the proposal and gladly accepts. Their engagement leads to an in-game wedding, and they receive a bouquet of flowers. Rin smiles and tells him that she loves him. He thanks her and promises they'll continue playing together. She then tells him that she needs to sleep and logs off, saying they'll meet again tomorrow. Kazu also logs off. He sets his phone down and gets ready to sleep after a long day of gaming. Just before dozing off, his phone buzzes. It's a message from Rin, thanking him for the beautiful wedding and reminding him that he's now her husband, so he has to take care of her. He sends a casual reply and doses off. The next day at school, Kazu gets a notification about a new in-game event. Nearby, he overhears classmates talking about the new Star Mines music video. They're excited about it, especially about how cute Mizuki-san was. As they are talking, Mizuki walks into the classroom. She instantly grabs everyone's attention, but no one has the courage to talk to her. Star Mines is a 5-member idol group, the most talked-about group at the school. One of its members, Mizuki Rinka, is in their class. She's known for her calm and serious attitude. Students admire her quietly. Kazu remembers that during the early days of high school, everyone talked about her at the school gates. And it's easy to see that no one was exaggerating. Her presence, composure, and graceful movements draw attention immediately. Her expression never changes, and her demeanor is refined, placing her on an entirely different league than everyone else. However, because of this attitude, she also has many haters. To them, she seems distant and cold. Kazu, watching from afar, realizes she never starts a conversation. But for people like him, admiring her from a distance is enough. Students go crazy over the limited edition Star Mines bundle. Kazu understands this feeling. After all, he has also wasted a fair bit of money on his game. His phone buzzes again. It's Rin asking if he can play again tonight. He replies that he definitely will, then decides to take a quick nap before the class starts. For him, playing with her means more than obsessing over idols. Later that night, Kazu boots up his PC to play the game, but he is met with a maintenance notice. He wanted to go mining before Rin logs in, but I guess those plans are ruined. Still, he decides to check the upcoming event. He comes across a post about the Star Mines group. Realizing it's the same group the boys in class were talking about, he decides to check out their music just to see what all the fuss is about. He's surprised to find himself enjoying it. He hadn't expected to like it, but Mizuki Rinka's voice stands out. He ends up listening to all of her songs. When he glances at the clock, he realizes how late he is. He quickly logs into the game. He begins to panic, thinking how angry she must be. He can't tell her he was watching idol videos. But then she appears and scolds him for being late. But one apology later, they are back to finishing again. These two are the classic in-game couple. While fishing by the lake, he gently asks her if she's still angry. She tells him to just inform her next time if he's going to be late. She reminds him that their relationship should be built on mutual trust and honesty. They're husband and wife now, after all. However, she still wants to know why he was late. He admits he was watching an idol group's music video. Rin, curious, asks which one. He reminds her of their agreement not to bring real-world topics into the game. He recalls how she once said their relationship would lose its purity if they got caught up in reality. But despite this, her curiosity has gotten the better of her this time. Kazu gives in and tells her it was Star Mines. He tells her how it was his first time listening to them, and they were better than he expected. He says Mizuki Rinka's voice made her stand out the most. Then he adds with a hint of disbelief that Mizuki Rinka also happens to be his classmate. Rin falls silent. For 3 minutes, neither of them speaks. Kazu starts to panic. He apologizes, saying he must have said something foolish and asks her to forget what he just said. Out of nowhere, she reveals that she is Mizuki Rinka. He is stunned and at a loss for words for a moment. He wonders why she's saying that all of a sudden. Surely she's joking. But Rin, completely serious, tells him she's in year 2, class 3, Their homeroom teacher is Satu-sensei, and her seat is at the front of the second row from the window. And that's not even the gist of it. His mind races. Everything she's telling him is accurate. She asks for his name. He replies calmly, saying he sits in the first row, all the way at the back. Upon hearing this, she abruptly gets up and decides to log off. Alone in his room, he wonders if she was disappointed to find out who he is. Maybe now she won't want to play with him again. The thought of not playing with her again is not a pleasant one. Spending time with her has become a routine, something he took for granted. The idea of going solo again feels empty. His phone buzzes with a message from Rin. She asks him if he wants to go to the cafeteria with her during lunch break tomorrow. At first, he feels relieved that she isn't mad, but then reality hits him like a truck. The reality that Rin really is Mizuki Rinka. He still tries to reason it out. Their personalities are nothing alike. Mizuki Rinka always says she does nothing during breaks. He can't imagine a bigger contrast. Then he wonders how she got his in-game name right. Maybe it's his other classmates messing with him. There's no way Mizuki Rinka would play online games. He convinces himself that this isn't real. Another message appears. Rin tells him she'll prove that she is real, followed by a selfie of Mizuki Rinka. The next day at school, Kazu feels the weight of a sleepless night. Everything that happened still plays in his mind, and he cannot come to terms with the idea that Rin could actually be Mizuki Rinka. He begins to wonder if he can even invite her to play like he used to. The image she sent the previous night resurfaces in his thoughts, and after examining it carefully, he realizes there's no other choice but to believe her. Around him, other students are also looking at the same picture, commenting on how cute it is. Some speculate that it might be edited. Kazu himself begins to doubt it, wondering if someone could have manipulated the photo. But then, Mizuki waves at him from the seat ahead. He waves back, and at that moment, he accepts the truth. It's real. During lunch break, as Kazu walks toward the cafeteria, Mizuki approaches and sits next to him. The students around them react with silent shock, unable to believe that Mizuki Rinka is sitting and eating with him. Jealousy surfaces among them, and Kazu feels the intensity of their gazes as if sharp eyes are piercing right through him. He finds it difficult to process that the girl in front of him is Mizuki Rinka, the same idol whose videos he had been watching just the night before. Her smooth white skin, her large, defined eyes, everything about her appearance is perfectly composed. Seeing her again, he realizes how beautiful she truly is. While he's still caught in the moment, Mizuki unexpectedly reveals that she was surprised to find out that he was actually Kazuto. Kazu feels equally shocked, and considers it even more surprising from his perspective. She points out how calling himself Kazu just because of his name seems overly simple. He quietly thinks she's not one to talk, but the moment passes with mutual understanding. She reflects that they seem to get along quite well, and he agrees. Still, he finds it hard to believe that they both ended up in the same class. Mizuki suggests perhaps it's fate. Kazu reminds her that their marriage is only within the game, but she takes a pause and then remarks with calm sincerity that, even so, it's a pure kind of love. The nearby students start whispering among themselves, wondering if Kazu might have said something inappropriate. During this, she explains with seriousness that people behave differently on the internet because of the anonymity it offers. That is why their true emotions and personalities tend to surface. She believes that through chats and the way people cooperate in games, one can judge a person's character, even without any additional information. She expresses her thoughts to him seriously, explaining that in real life, people often approach her with hidden motives. On the internet, every male player she has met changed their attitude immediately after learning she was a girl. Kazu listens closely, understanding the weight of her words. She tells him that he was the only one who remained genuine and kind. He had supported her without knowing her true identity, even during the toughest times of her idol career. Thinking back, she recalls moments when she was emotionally unstable, and during those times he had helped her feel at ease like when they were fishing, and he asked for help with a catch that eventually got away. She apologized, but he reassured her that it was okay to move at her own pace. She had sincerely thanked him from her heart. Kazu reflects on how he never directly asked her about her real life. He had simply assumed that she had some connection to the entertainment world. She then tells him that if she hadn't met him, she likely would have already retired from being an idol. He tries to dismiss it, but she remains firm, explaining that the emotional support he gave her became the reason she decided to stay and even to marry him. The word marriage stirs quiet surprise among the other students. Kazu keeps calm, reminding himself it's all about the game. Still, he begins to realize just how seriously she takes online games. He's glad she does. She then tells him that she believes marriages and MMOs are important. She wonders if he feels differently, but he agrees and tells her calmly that he thinks the same. Marriage in MMOs matters. It even comes with a special title. Her expression brightens at this shared view, but just then, he shivers slightly. A sudden chill runs down his spine. He tries to dismiss it, telling himself it's probably just his imagination. At that moment, someone nearby calls out to Rin. As the unfamiliar voice reaches them, everyone nearby is caught off guard. A girl approaches and, with composed curiosity, asks Rin if the boy sitting with her is someone she knows. To Kazu, her voice sounds strangely familiar. She then introduces herself brightly as Kurumizaka Nana, another member of Star Mines just like Rin, and expresses genuine happiness at meeting them. Upon hearing her name, Kazu immediately recognizes her as the energetic center of the idol group. He silently wonders if they had always attended the same school without him noticing. As Nana greets him warmly, surrounding students begin whispering in jealousy, questioning whether Kazu is also pursuing Nana now. They express their irritation quietly, swearing they won't forgive him. Casually, Nana asks Rin if Kazu might be upset, seeing her having lunch with another boy. Rin calmly clarifies that the boy in question is Kazu himself. Kazu smiles politely, showing he's glad to meet her. Nana reacts with pleasant surprise upon realizing he's the same Kazu she's heard about, finding it amazing to meet him in person. She expresses her excitement with honesty while he responds modestly, reminding her that she's the actual idol here. Their conversation shifts as Nana curiously expresses interest in how Rin behaves online. Kazu replies there's not much difference, though he internally acknowledges she acts quite differently in-game. Nana remarks that she always assumed Rin's online personality would be the complete opposite, and Kazu silently agrees with her observation. She then thanks him sincerely. She shows him a screenshot from a video and explains that her gratitude comes from the support he gave Rin over time. She reveals that after Star Mines debuted, they struggled with popularity, and it had been particularly hard on Rin. Compared to the others, Rin bore a stronger sense of responsibility and worried more deeply. Nana recalls a specific moment when Rin was practicing without pause, pushing herself beyond her limits. She had approached her and reminded her not to strain so hard, but Rin insisted she couldn't afford to hold others back and had to work even harder. Watching her that day, Nana had felt unsure how to help. Noticing Rin smiling at her phone, she had advised her to act more naturally, but Rin didn't respond. Nana had then stepped closer to make her presence known, startling Rin, who admitted she'd nearly scared her. Curious, Nana had asked what she had been gazing at so fondly, teasing if it was a boyfriend. Rin calmly revealed that it was her husband, someone she had married in an online game. Nana was stunned. Rin elaborated that Kazu was someone who never questioned her, always stayed by her side and quietly encouraged her. He made her feel like she could give her best every single day. Rin, caught in her emotions, became flustered mid-sentence. Nana then thanked Kazu once more, acknowledging that Rin began to recover slowly afterward, and their group's popularity had started to grow. Kazu, listening to everything, realizes just how little he knew about what Rin had endured. Nana affirms that this is precisely why she's so grateful to him now. Rin, slightly embarrassed, reminds Nana that Kazu is standing right there and asks her not to say such things out loud. Remaining composed, Nana continues, noting that now that she thinks about it, they are technically married. She admits feeling a little envious of their relationship. Kazu and Rin both quickly correct her, explaining that the marriage was only within the game. Still, Nana asserts that even so, they must have married because they like each other. Kazu, keeping a calm demeanor, clarifies that they did it because the game offers a special title for marriage. Nana, not letting it go, seriously asks if that means he doesn't actually like Rin. Kazu answers honestly that he likes her, but only as a friend within the game. Nana understands, and it becomes clear to her that this matches what Rin had likely expected. Rin then comments aloud about how long they plan to keep whispering to each other. Seeing their proximity, she quietly remarks that they're sitting too close. Nana immediately shifts away from Kazu and apologizes to Rin. She assures her that there's no reason to be jealous. Kazu, startled, begins wondering if Rin is actually jealous over him. Something about the situation feels off. He starts to think that maybe he and Rin have completely different interpretations of their relationship. Then the idea strikes him that Rin might actually have feelings for him in real life. He tries to dismiss the thought, insisting to himself that it can't be true. Still deep in thought, he continues eating, but Nana quietly makes a decision. She isn't going to let things remain ambiguous. She's determined to ensure that they truly end up together. The next day at school, Kazu walks in quietly, and Tachibana, along with his friends, closely watches to see whether he interacts with Rin. But Kazu passes by her without saying a word. Later, Tachibana asks if he checked the website he mentioned earlier. Kazu replies that he did, and that it made him realize how naive he had been. Tachibana laughs and tells him that it's only natural for some fans to be extreme. He then asks what he plans to do next. Kazu explains that he has decided to maintain distance both in real life and in the game. He reminds himself that their in-game marriage is only virtual, while in real life their worlds are entirely different. He admits that he's just a regular video game otaku and doesn't want to cause any problems for Rin. For that reason, he plans to stop talking to her altogether. Nana, sitting on the other side of the wall, overhears the conversation. She feels that what she has just heard carries deep significance. In the classroom, Rin senses that something about Kazu has changed since the previous day. Though he greeted her in the morning, his behavior feels distant. She begins to wonder if she did something to upset him, but she can't find an answer and ends up feeling dispirited. Other students notice the troubled look on her face and are struck by how beautiful she looks, even in sadness. The boys quietly whisper among themselves, determined to remember this moment forever. Later, Kazu's gaze briefly lingers on her, and he recalls the message she sent the previous night, asking if they could have lunch together. He had turned her down, saying he needed to study. That night, when Rin logs into the game, Kazu logs out almost immediately, claiming the professor is calling him. Rin feels let down. She can't understand why he's avoiding her, and quietly reflects that he was the one who said her real-life identity didn't matter. Alone by the riverbank in the game, she feels a mix of confusion and hurt. At school, Kazu realizes Rin has already left. As he walks through the hallway, Tachibana and the others invite him to join them for karaoke. He declines, saying he is heading home, though he convinces himself he's doing it for Rin's sake. Avoiding her causes him pain. As he passes the lab, he hears a girl's voice from inside asking if he can pass something to her, as her hands are occupied. When he reaches in to help, Rin suddenly grabs his wrist and pulls him into the room. He's surprised to see her, but she quickly apologizes. He tells her it's fine and asks if she needs anything. Trying to excuse himself, he turns to leave, but she asks him seriously why he is avoiding her. He remains silent. She tells him she wants things to go back to how they were, that she wants to play together again and grow closer. But he quietly apologizes and tells her not to speak to him anymore. She stands frozen, unable to respond, and silently accepts his words. The scene shifts outside, where rain pours heavily. Kazu stands without an umbrella, observing the downpour and deciding to wait until it eases before heading home. At that moment, he sees Rin standing quietly in the rain, holding an umbrella and walking away in silence. Watching her go, he realizes that a considerable amount of time has passed and she hasn't logged in since. Their connection has reverted to what it used to be, simply classmates. Still, he believes that what he said back then was necessary. As he silently watches her saddened expression, another girl suddenly approaches. She remarks that it's been a while since they last met and asks if he can spare a moment to talk. Surprised, he asks who she is. The question comes off as harsh, and the girl responds seriously, wondering if they hadn't once longed for each other. He denies any such memory. She playfully calls him cold and tells him to follow her somewhere for a bit. When he asks for a reason, she replies that he'll understand once they arrive. As they enter the school building, she calmly introduces herself as Kotone and tells him he can call her Kotone-sama. He, confused, questions what exactly is free about that. He then shares his full name. She continues without hesitation, reciting details about him, his love for video games, his age, his dominant hand, and that he is an only child. This startles him, and he asks if she's a stalker. She firmly tells him not to be rude and explains that he's become somewhat of a celebrity at school. She points out that he even shares lunch with Mizuki Rinka. Kazu, now more serious, asks if this is all about the rumors. At that moment, she turns toward Nana and states that if she wants to talk about it, now is the time because she has brought him here. Kazu then notices Nana, who gently apologizes for calling him so suddenly. She explains that Kotone shared everything with her, and she also overheard his conversation with Tachibana on the rooftop. She understands that the rumors caught him off guard, prompting him to distance himself from Rin, believing it was for her sake. Acknowledging Rin's career goals, Nana admits that perhaps distance was a reasonable decision. But despite that, she tells him she hopes he can rebuild his connection with Rin. She shares that Rin, though pretending to be fine, seems to be in quiet distress. She helps him realize that while Rin's idol activities are important, it's also essential for her to find happiness as a normal girl. If closeness to Kazu might cause problems for the group, she is willing to help for Rin's sake. Kazu listens quietly, gradually realizing that he had made decisions for Rin without fully considering her feelings. He remembers how she had tried to open up to him, but he had pushed her away. He reflects that he had only seen her as an idol, someone distant, from another world. But in the end, she's just a girl who enjoys MMOs. Even knowing this, he still acted thoughtlessly, and now he regrets it. He recalls her smiling face when she had told him they could be together in real life. The memory makes him realize how foolish he's been. As he processes all of this, Nana calmly asks if he intends to make things right with Rin. He replies that he will if Rin is willing to forgive him. Nana, moved by his sincerity, thanks him. Kazu then expresses concern that the rumors will likely resurface. Nana reassures him that she already has a plan in place. She admits that she once considered arranging a marriage between Kazu and Rin, though she now feels it may not be the right time. With that, she tells him it's time to begin Operation Reconciliation. The scene moves to the school rooftop, where Tachibana, Kotone, Saito, and Kazu gather to discuss the situation. During the conversation, Tachibana, clearly frustrated, asks Nana why she has called them all there. He wonders aloud whether Rin wasn't enough now. Nana is involving them all by name. Kazu calmly addresses the group, explaining that he needs a favor. Nana, maintaining a serious tone, outlines her plan for what she calls Operation Reconciliation. She believes the real problem is that Rin became close to a certain boy, and turning to Kazu, she states that he must become one of Rin's friends. Kazu begins to reflect on Rin as Nana gently reminds him that, besides him, Rin has no true friends at school. He remarks that Rin seems to prefer being alone, but Nana patiently corrects him, explaining that while Rin is often misunderstood as cold, she actually hates being lonely. Nana shares a past conversation with Rin, 4-star Minds, in which Rin admitted she wanted classmates she could talk to. However, Rin hesitated, eventually explaining that she struggles to express emotions and doesn't have the same cheerful personality as Nana, so she assumes others wouldn't enjoy being around her. Nana had reassured her otherwise, and Rin had smiled, saying that just having Nana and Kazu was enough for her. Nana calmly points out that she truly believes Rin wants friends. Kazu, taking it in, admits he hadn't known any of this. Kotone also confesses that she had assumed Rin simply liked solitude. Nana then outlines her plan, to have their own group Tachibana, Saito, and Kotone become Rin's friends. Kazu reaches out to them with sincerity, asking that they help by becoming her friends. He explains that by surrounding Rin with more friends, they can prevent further rumors and also ease her loneliness. He presents the idea with genuine intent. Tachibana listens carefully, then seriously questions whether Kazu might be acting too conveniently. He points out that only a few days ago he had vowed never to speak to her again, and now he's asking them to befriend her to repair that relationship. Raising his voice slightly, Tachibana asks whether Kazu really thought they would reject such a request. Kazu is caught off guard, but Tachibana explains that no one would pass up the opportunity to become friends with a girl like Rin. Saito agrees, asking if all of this is truly alright with Kazu. Tachibana continues, sharing that he has wanted to get along with Rin for a long time. Since she started spending time with Kazu, her expression has softened, and that change is something they've all noticed. He tells Kazu there is no need to ask if they're already willing. Kazu and Nana are both moved by this support. Still, Nana reminds them that Rin has emotionally closed herself off because of what happened with Kazu. If they try to approach her directly now, she may simply ignore them. Kotone silently notes that Nana can be a bit blunt with her words. Tachibana suggests that they try getting closer to her through online games. Kazu, however, points out that Rin specifically doesn't trust boys in online games, making that approach a bit more complicated. Kotone begins thinking, trying to come up with a better method. Just then, Saito speaks up with a calm certainty, stating that there is one realistic and reasonable way to become someone's friend without failing. The group begins coordinating through their walkie-talkies. Kazu reports first, confirming that he is in position and that the target Rin is present. Nana responds shortly after, calmly announcing that she and the others are also ready. Kazu, puzzled, wonders aloud why they are even using walkie-talkies in the first place. Nana explains that it simply helps set the mood. Tachibana then mentions that the walkie-talkies belong to him. Saito checks in with everyone to ensure they remember the plan. Kotone cheerfully replies that they rehearsed it thoroughly the day before, but the group agrees to go over it once more to be safe. The plan begins with the four of them excluding Kazu approaching Rin in the school courtyard during lunch. Given the unexpected approach, they expect her to be confused. At that moment, they will ask her to be their friend. Tachibana reflects that the line initially sounded strange to him when he first heard it, as he hadn't imagined something so simple would be the plan. But Nana believes that simplicity is often the most effective approach. Saito agrees, noting that when someone is approached with such sincerity, it's hard for them to say no. They also take into account that the courtyard will be crowded during the lunch break, making it an ideal setting to publicly demonstrate their friendship with Rin. The hope is that by showing she has a strong group of friends, the previous rumors involving her and a certain boy Kazu will be dismissed as mere misunderstandings. It would appear to everyone else that the boy was simply part of her friend group. Meanwhile, Kazu quietly hopes that once this is over, he'll have the chance to properly apologize to Rin. That's why he remains at a distance, watching over the situation as it unfolds. Saito confidently states that the success rate of this plan is 100%. He tells Kazu to observe their success carefully. With everyone ready, they launch Operation Reconciliation. The group approaches Rin and kindly asks if she can spare a moment. Kazu continues to observe from a distance, growing increasingly unsure about the outcome. Although the plan had seemed solid in theory, the reality feels uncertain. Rin, confused by the sudden approach, looks to Nana and asks who the others are. Nana explains that they are her friends and that she wants Rin to meet them. She introduces Tachibana, who warmly expresses his happiness to meet her. Then she presents Saito, who remains silent. Nana explains with a smile that he's just nervous. Finally, she introduces Kotone, who enthusiastically tells Rin that she can address her as Kotone-sama. From where he stands, Kazu senses the group's awkwardness and stiffness. He begins to worry that if they continue like this, they might unintentionally push her away. He catches a glimpse of her expression and sees that she is clearly more overwhelmed than they expected. Quickly, Kazu sends a reminder through the walkie-talkie, prompting them to say their prepared line. After a tense moment, they do. They ask her to be their friend. Rin stands in silence, visibly uncertain. After a brief pause, she nods in agreement. The group lights up with relief and excitement, knowing that she has accepted their offer of friendship. Kotone immediately sits beside Rin, eager to ask her many questions. Tachibana quickly interrupts, complaining that Kotone shouldn't monopolize her attention. The energy around them grows more relaxed, and students nearby begin to notice. Watching them interact, others start to believe that she really does have a lot of friends. Some students even express interest in getting closer to her. From this growing impression, it becomes clear to everyone that the rumors about Rin and Kazu were exaggerated. The assumption now is that he was just one of her many friends. Kazu observes the unfolding scene with a sense of relief, believing that everything is progressing smoothly. Nana, too, feels a sense of happiness. She's glad that Rin is able to blend in so comfortably with others. She gently tells her that this might be a good chance to start speaking with Kazu again. However, Rin's expression shifts and she calmly asks what Nana means by that. Caught off guard, Nana listens as Rin explains that she appreciates her concern but no longer has any connection to Kazu. She admits with quiet clarity that it was her own fault for interfering in his real life. She reflects on the difference between her two selves, Rin and Mizuki Rinka, saying that they are completely separate people. It was only natural that Kazu felt disappointed when he encountered reality. Remembering it only causes her pain, so she decided to let him go. Nana sees the look in her eyes. It's the same one she saw the last time this happened, and in that moment she realizes that she still hasn't been able to change her. A heavy sadness settles over her. After everything, Nana quietly informs the group that she needs to prepare for the 5th period. Along with Kotone, she ends the conversation and walks away, leaving Rin standing alone in silence. As they step back, a sense of finality settles over them, the realization that her emotional wounds run deeper than they had anticipated. Some suggest trying again tomorrow, but Nana firmly shakes her head. She tells them that nothing more can be done. In Rin's current state, no one can reach her. She believes only one person might still have a chance, Kazu. At that moment, Kazu calls out to Rin from a nearby window. His voice cuts through the quiet courtyard, drawing the attention of surrounding students, who turn in surprise. Rin looks up at him. With sincere conviction, Kazu expresses his regret, admitting that he had been too focused on everything around him and failed to consider her feelings. He recognizes that she had been trying to get close, while he dismissed her without truly listening. He acknowledges his own selfishness. Although the timing may seem convenient, he insists on saying what he feels. He asks her to be his friend. The courtyard falls silent. He quickly adds that it's not just about being his friend, but everyone's. He invites her to share moments with them, laughing, talking, and even going out together after school. He mentions going to karaoke and, more personally, that he wants to go fishing with her again. His mention of fishing draws surprised reactions. Some question the relevance, but Nana recalls Rin once talking about going fishing with him. Just then, a classmate runs up to remind Kazu that class is about to start. At that moment, Kazu suddenly loses his balance and falls from the window. Gasps erupt from the crowd. His friends shout his name in panic, and Rin rushes toward him in fear, her eyes filling with tears as she pleads for him to hold on. Kazu opens his eyes and reassures her it's only a few scratches. He had landed in a flower bed below. Rin clasps his hand tightly, overcome with relief, and tells him how worried she was. He quietly apologizes for making her feel that way. He affirms that everything he said was from the heart. He truly wants to build a real-life relationship with her. She responds softly, saying she wants the same. She wants to go fishing with him again. Then, with some hesitation, he adds that while fishing isn't bad, she would also like him to come mining with her sometimes. She smiles and agrees it wouldn't be so bad once in a while. His friends soon gather around, relieved to see he's okay. They scold him for the reckless stunt, but admit that he pulled it off like a legend. The tension eases, and they acknowledge that his earlier behavior may have been a little too guarded, but now it doesn't matter. Their plan, Operation Reconciliation, has succeeded. Later, Kazu sits by the riverside fishing with Rin. He reflects on how he got scolded afterward, but since he promised to fix the flower bed, he avoided punishment. During their quiet moment, Rin gently asks if she can call herself his wife. Kazu responds with calm certainty, saying it's obvious because they're married. Her smile reassures him. Being able to share this connection with her again, even online, feels meaningful to him. Then, just as the atmosphere settles, a large figure approaches and tells them he has finally found them. Both Kazu and Rin look up, confused, not recognizing who the person is. Kazu looks at the newcomer and, with serious curiosity, asks Rin if this person is a friend of hers. Rin calmly clears up the misunderstanding and explains that the person is named Sturman Griff. Judging from his low level, only level 2, it's clear he's a beginner. The group is surprised by his sudden appearance. Rin further explains that Sturman Griff is actually the name of Nana's cat. Kazu finds the name strange, noting that the voice and appearance of the player don't seem to match. Facing Sturman, she points out that he should have messaged before appearing. Sturman admits that he wanted to surprise her by showing up without warning, but Rin tells him that he only ended up frightening her. Then, in a sudden move, Sturman grabs Kazu and asks if the girl really is their Rin. Kazu, calm and steady, confirms that this is how her in-game character looks. Sturman appears stunned, recalling how she once claimed that her game avatar resembled her real-life self, though now she looks completely different. Rin notes in return that Sturman himself looks entirely different too. His appearance is a full reversal from reality. Rin shifts the focus, saying that they need to help Nana get used to the Black Plains area, and suggests they all go hunting together. Sturman, unsure of himself, questions whether he'll be able to defeat any monsters. Kazu assures him that he doesn't need to worry, they'll support him. Kazu proposes they start with weaker monsters nearby. A small creature appears, and Sturman finds it endearing. Rin quietly tells Kazu that Nana's tastes are clearly not like most people's. Kazu observes that the monster is stronger than expected and advises caution. But before anyone can react, the small creature suddenly strikes Sturman on the head. Despite the blow, Sturman still sees it as playful behavior, calling the creature cute. Kazu and Rin, however, warn him that the monster is actively attacking. The creature continues to strike, and eventually Sturman is defeated. He apologizes, but Kazu and Rin reassure him it's his first time, and that sort of thing happens to everyone. They consider focusing on easier monsters to level up. Kazu silently notes to himself that Sturman is truly bad at video games, while Rin has already gone off to fish. Sturman returns and, with genuine concern, asks Kazu if he doesn't want to grow closer to Rin. Kazu is surprised by the abruptness of the question. Sturman insists that the key to reducing the emotional distance between them is to begin using each other's real names. Kazu hesitates, questioning whether using Rin isn't already enough, since it's just one syllable short. But Sturman explains that her real and in-game names carry entirely different feelings. Sturman steps away for a moment, saying he'll leave them alone for a bit, and suggests Kazu call her Rinka. As he goes AFK, he notes that the beep sound he hears resembles Nana's voice. Once he's gone, Rin quietly comments that Nana seems to be improving. Kazu replies seriously that she still has a long way to go. He wonders aloud whether using a different name really changes anything. Turning toward Rin, he addresses her by her full name and casually asks how she likes her curry. The moment he says it, he feels embarrassed, admitting to himself that after calling her Rin for so long, the change feels unnatural. Rin responds that she likes sweet curry. While they continue fishing, Kazu hears Sturman calling out to him again and realizes that she has been listening to everything. Later, while sitting together, he again uses her full name and asks about their home economics class. She gently reminds him that they don't have it tomorrow. He remarks on how he always notices a seagull flying by, trying to shift the awkwardness. Despite everything, he admits to himself that calling her Rinka still feels strange. She seriously tells him that if something is wrong, they should talk openly. Seeing her make an effort to face him directly, he knows he needs to respond with the same honesty. He apologizes for how he's handled things and sincerely asks if he can start calling her Rinka. She is visibly stunned and expresses disbelief that he would say something like that, calling it sudden. She asks if he really means it. Kazu answers with steady sincerity. She takes a moment and then reassures him that, of course, it's fine because they're married. Hearing that, he softly calls her by her full name. Tears begin to fill her eyes. He tells her she can use his full name as well. She asks if he truly means it. Slowly, she begins saying his name, syllable by syllable. When he nods, confirming that it's okay, she hugs him tightly and tells him that she loves him. He smiles and gently places his hand on her head, saying that from now on, he's in her care. Rin, smiling back, tells him she's in his care too as both friends and partners. Afterward, he calls for Sturman to come out. He appears, laughing and asking if they figured it out. Kazu tells Rin that it was Sturman's idea to have them start using each other's names. She smiles and says she doubts it was his idea. She suspects it came from Kazu himself. Still, she says she's genuinely happy and that she feels much closer to him now, maybe even a little special. Then, unexpectedly, Sturman tells Kazu that he can call him Nana too. Kazu agrees without hesitation. At that very moment, Rin is caught off guard. Tears welling in her eyes, she suddenly runs away, calling Kazu a dummy as she goes. Kazu, confused, calls after her asking why. Ever since the incident when Kazu and Rin reconciled, meeting for lunch with their group of 6 becomes a regular routine. But today feels different. Rin calls out to Kazu using his full name, something she doesn't usually do. When he approaches, she reminds him that entering the old school building is technically off limits, which is exactly why she has chosen it as their secret spot. She hands him a bento box, saying she wanted to give it to him today. She mentions how he usually only eats boiled eggs for lunch, which she doesn't find very healthy, so she made this meal for him instead. Kazu is surprised, but she tells him that from now on, she'll prepare his lunch every day as his wife. He thanks her with a smile and begins eating after getting her approval. As he tastes the food, he finds each item delicious. He realizes how much care she put into it and asks if she really woke up early just to make it for him. Even while managing her idol work, she has made time for this. He silently reflects that he isn't worthy of such effort. Rin then quietly asks if she can make a request. When he agrees, she asks him to say, "Ah." Caught off guard, Kazu repeats the word in confusion, trying to confirm what she meant. When she affirms it, he's puzzled and questions whether that kind of thing is casual between friends. She then asks him if he doesn't want to. He reassures her that he was just surprised, not unwilling. Encouraged, she asks again, and when he says it, she feeds him by hand. He compliments the taste, and she continues happily feeding him more. But after a while, he suddenly stops, saying he can't eat anymore. Rin, surprised, asks if something is wrong and wonders aloud if this is what people call marital fatigue. Her tone shifts and she begins to spiral emotionally. She insists that even though it's been years since they got married, he still gives her butterflies. He's the only one she thinks about now, but she struggles to believe that such feelings could be real. He then quickly adds that it's probably just because he's full. She responds that if that was the case, he should have simply said so. She, still upset, tries to make him understand. Just then, they hear a noise. A man approaches with a stick in hand. Rin immediately recognizes the sound. It's Ishimatsu's sensei, the PE teacher. Kazu panics, realizing they'll be in trouble if caught here. They quickly rush into a nearby classroom to hide. Inside, Kazu becomes keenly aware of Rin's closeness. Their bodies are pressed together. He puts a hand over her mouth to stop her from making any sound. She whispers that his heartbeat is loud. He admits he can hear hers too and feels her body warmth. He quietly confesses that he can't hold back any longer. Sweating and overwhelmed, he reminds himself that while they are a couple, they're still in high school, and this is not the right place for anything more. Rin pleads with him to be gentle, but just as tension peaks, he suddenly sneezes. He stumbles forward, landing on her, and awkwardly explains that there was too much dust for him to hold back. Rin is left stunned. At that moment, a cat appears between them. Kazu grows frustrated and realizes the bell sound they heard earlier came from the cat's collar. Rin identifies it as Sturman Griff, Nana's cat, and they both realize it has run off again. She picks the cat up gently and says they should head to where Nana is. As she walks ahead, Kazu asks if she had said something earlier. She replies calmly that it was nothing important. But seeing her composed tone and expression, he begins to quietly wonder if she's actually upset with him. In the classroom, while Kazu sits quietly, he receives a sudden message from Rin. She tells him her family won't return until Sunday and asks if he would like to come over. His friends, noticing the message, react with surprise, suspecting the situation resembles something romantic or intimate. Kazu, caught off guard, realizes they've been watching him and wonders how long they've been there. They teasingly suggest that he'll understand more once he graduates and should be prepared. Confused, Kazu asks what they mean, and one of them bluntly implies what might happen between him and Rin when they are alone. Kazu, misunderstanding, says they'll probably play online games. This response surprises everyone, who begins to question whether he's being serious. It appears that he is. On Sunday, Kazu visits her house. She greets him warmly at the door, dressed neatly to receive him. As he steps inside, he can't help but notice how beautiful she looks. He apologizes politely as she invites him in. Inside her room, Kazu, unfamiliar with a girl's room, looks around curiously. Rin tells him she'll bring some tea and asks him to sit. While waiting, he observes her impressive gaming setup and notices a sewing machine nearby. Surprised to learn she enjoys sewing, Rin returns and catches him looking around. He welcomes her back. She remarks pointedly that she hopes he isn't analyzing every detail of her room, calling him a pervert in a teasing tone. She then says it's time to get started. Assuming they're about to play games, Kazu prepares himself, but Rin calmly informs him that he might not understand the real reason she invited him. She says that today she plans to sever his ties with all other girls. Kazu is shocked. She sits beside him, calling it a good start, and begins by saying they'll remove all his female friends from his online games. Kazu protests, questioning how she can do that on her own, and whether she even has the right. He wonders if her actions are normal and pleads with her not to delete all his friends, fearing isolation. Rin, calm and firm, reminds him that she is still here. Kazu explains that he plays with other friends during the week when she isn't online. Rin listens and appears to understand, but then her eyes begin to water. She asks if what he truly wants is for her to stop being an idol. Kazu is caught off guard and denies it, telling her he wants her to continue being an idol and simply allow his online friendships to exist. She immediately refuses and tells him that a woman named Satoke, who has been divorced 8 times, once told her that men lower women's guards to build relationships elsewhere. When he asks who she is, Rin dismisses the question, telling him he's asking too much. Kazu begins to question if he is the one at fault. She then picks up a string and says it symbolizes something for couples. Kazu points out that they aren't a couple, but Rin insists they are husband and wife. Kazu tries to reason that their relationship only exists in-game, but before he can say more, Rin's younger sister unexpectedly returns home. Panic sets in. He prepares to hide in the closet, but Rin quickly stops him, and instead pushes him onto the bed, covering him with a blanket. Her sister Nonwa enters and immediately senses someone else is there. Rin calmly denies it and shifts her attention to helping her sister change. However, Nona walks over and lifts the blanket, revealing Kazu. He stares in shock at the girl who appears to be a younger version of Rin. Nonwa, equally stunned, exclaims in disbelief that her sister has brought a boy home. Rinka's younger sister is delighted that she brought a boy home. Kazu, surprised by her reaction, when suddenly Rinka tells him that the girl is her younger sister. The little girl introduces herself cheerfully as Mizuki Nonowa, a first-grade student. Her energy and confidence make Kazuto silently acknowledge how strong the family's genetics seem to be. With innocent curiosity, Nonowa asks if he plans to climb with her sister. He, confused by the wording, asks what she means. She smiles and explains that she's referring to the stairs to adulthood. The phrase causes Kazuto to reflect inwardly, wondering if today's children are unusually mature or if he himself is simply lagging behind. Rinka, maintaining a serious tone, clarifies that Nonowa is just repeating phrases she's heard from dramas without understanding them. Nonowa then pleads with Kazuto to play with her. Though he initially tries to decline, her tearful eyes convince him. He assures her that he'll play as much as she wants. Rinka quietly tells him that there's something important she wants to talk about. He nods in understanding, saying it's fine if he plays with Nonowa for a little while. With Rinka's approval, Nonowa becomes excited and quickly chooses the game she wants. Kazuto asks if she's interested in online games, and when she rejects a character, he suggests they create a new one. Together they customize it, and Kazuto finds the result adorable. Rinka, observing with a neutral expression, quietly mutters that her own character is cute too. Kazuto and Nona begin playing. Rinka, feeling slightly sidelined, mutters that she could easily do what they're doing. He turns to her and asks if she's competing with her sister. Rinka immediately denies it. Nonowa wins a game round and proudly celebrates. He praises her skill, which makes Rinka mutter that she could have defeated the enemy in one hit. He now begins to realize that she is indeed competing. Rinka responds with a quiet complaint that he's never given her compliments like that. He gently reminds her that she's twice Nonowa's age. As he watches her behavior, he starts to question whether her enthusiasm for online games is becoming excessive. She recalls that praising others boosts their confidence and strengthens bonds. Since they are now a couple, he reasons, mutual praise is important. She says she's glad he's getting along well with Nonowa, but insists that he should also pay attention to her as well. Kazuto is momentarily caught off guard. She calmly adds that she wants to be pampered too. As he pats her head, he notices how silky and light her hair feels. Lost in thought, he starts making strange noises, but quickly checks himself. Time passes, and Nonowa eventually falls asleep. Kazuto continues patting her head and wonders how long he's supposed to keep going. Sensing his hesitation, Rinka quietly tells him that he can touch her more. He freezes, unsure of how to take that. Just then, the front door opens, and another girl enters, announcing her return and beginning to talk about dinner. She stops mid-sentence when she notices him and asks who he is. She introduces herself as Kasumi, a university student and Rinka's elder sister. Kazuto once again notes silently how strikingly strong their family traits are. Rinka introduces Kazuto as her classmate. Kasumi asks if they are dating. Rinka responds that they are not dating, then quickly corrects herself and says he is her husband. Kasumi reacts with a knowing tone, intrigued by the statement. Rinka explains that they met in an online game and married there. Kasumi comments that it sounds like they're simply good online friends, but Rinka firmly insists they are married. Kasumi nods, still trying to comprehend it. Kasumi admits that she doesn't fully understand how online marriage works and questions Rinka about her seriousness. Rinka replies confidently that she means everything she says. Kazuto is taken aback by her composure. Kasumi turns to him and tells him to take care of her sister, stating that only he can truly understand her. Kazuto, confused, asks what she means. Kasumi answers that Rinka is extremely cute and then casually suggests that if he ever crosses the line, it would be understandable. She leans in and softly tells him to give in to his desires. Kazuto, stunned and overwhelmed, internally decides that it's probably time for him to go home. The scene shifts to the school rooftop, where everyone is gathered under the burning summer sun. Tachibana suddenly asks the class what comes to mind when they hear the word summer. One by one, voices rise. Cicadas, firework festivals, and the sweet chill of shaved ice. But Tachibana isn't satisfied. He presses them with a serious look, searching for something more thrilling, more refreshing. The classmates keep tossing out answers. Wind chimes, the cool blast of air conditioning. Shaved ice again, but every answer he waves off. And just like that, the scene cuts to the beach, where the group arrives together. The salty breeze greets them as Rin softly thanks her sister for bringing them. With a bright smile, she reminds them that these days are Rin's precious holidays. As she sends them off, she flashes Kazu with a playful best-of-luck gesture. Excited voices fill the air as the classmates rush off to change. Kazu notices Kotone standing alone. Curious, he approaches and asks why she hasn't gone with the others. Calm as ever, she says she already has her swimsuit on beneath her clothes. Without hesitation, she slips off her outerwear. He freezes for a moment, realizing how bold Kotone can be sometimes. She leaves him standing there while the others laugh and splash in the sea. Watching them, Kazu can't help but think how childlike and carefree they all look. Nearby, Nana-chan proudly inflates a swim tube and lifts it up with a big grin. Everyone stares in surprise until their eyes drift to Rinka, who sits quietly by herself. Noticing their gazes, she looks back seriously and asks what it is. Soon, the classmates gather for beach volleyball. Energy rises as both sides declare their determination. Kazuto's attention drifts back to Rinka, who is still swimming alone by herself. He walks over, covered in algae. He asks her why she isn't joining the volleyball match. She answers calmly, saying she isn't really the fun type. The words sink into him. He remembers how she had said she preferred playing games or reading at home. He realizes now that he was the one who pushed her to come here. Maybe a little too much. Sensing his guilt, she tries to reassure him. She tells him gently that she is having fun. Her words take him by surprise. When he looks at her in confusion, she blushes faintly and explains that she simply knows how her husband thinks. She admits that when she lets herself float with the waves, it feels as if all the burdens of being an idol scatters into the sea, leaving her body and soul lighter. That feeling gives her courage to face everything again. She goes on to remind him that here, with these classmates, both she and Nana-chan are treated like ordinary students. That alone makes her happiest, and she thanks him quietly, her eyes warm with gratitude. Meanwhile, during the volleyball game, Nana-chan suddenly grows quiet. Tachibana notices, staring in surprise, but before anything more, Rinka calls out to Kazu. With a serious expression, she tells him she wants to show him something. Confused, he waits as she suddenly begins removing her clothes. His eyes widen in shock, but before he can react, she explains she only wanted him to see her new swimsuit. She blushes deeper, answering that it wouldn't feel right if anyone but her husband saw her body. Then she turns to him, asking how she looks. Nervous and sweating, he stammers out that she looks good. But she insists, urging him to give a properly answer. Gathering himself, he finally admits that the swimsuit looks very good on her. Before the moment can go any further, the classmates call out to them, announcing it's time for lunch. Kazuto and Rinka join the group, but as they walk away, Nana-chan suddenly asks Rinka what she had been talking about with Kazu. Rin only smiles softly and tells her it's a secret. The scene shifts to the dining table where everyone sits together, laughing and eating under the bright summer air. Tachibana leans back with a grin and says that food at the beach always feels like it tastes twice as delicious. At the next table, a group of girls whisper among themselves, their eyes fixed on Rin. They admire her beauty, wondering if she might be a model or even an idol. Suddenly, one gasps in recognition, but Nana quickly slips a hat and glasses on her. Kazu, noticing how Rin stands out, hands Nana glasses too. Both know recognition could cause trouble. After finishing their meal, the group gets up, feeling heavy but cheerful. Nana suggests a dip in the water and they begin heading back. Just then, Rin notices that the air plug has slipped loose and offers to go refill it. Nana suddenly speaks up, saying she might have left something behind at the beach house and could use some air. Rin tries to go with her, but Nana insists she stay behind and enjoy herself with Kazu. With a calm smile, she leaves on her own. As she walks, her mind drifts back to the way Kazu and Rin spoke earlier by the sea. As she walks, she thinks of Rin and Kazu together until boys approach, teasing her and urging her to join them. She trembles, insists she's underage and waiting for friends, but they laugh and close in. Her hands tremble as she tries to push past them. Fear tightens her throat as she begs them to stop, but they ignore her, circling closer. Just as one of them grabs her wrist, a voice cuts through the air. Another boy steps forward, telling them to let her go. The group stares in shock, demanding to know who he is. He declares himself the owner of the nearby shop and orders them to stop. They sneer and tug at her, but he pulls her free. Glaring, they storm off. The shop owner turns to her with concern, asking if she is all right. She forces herself to nod, thanking him quietly. He warns her gently that there are always people like that around here, and reassures her that she should be careful. Then, with a knowing smile, he tells her there is a hidden beach not far from here, a place only locals know. He offers to take her there. Surprised, she hesitates, but his voice is steady as he explains. It is only a 5-minute drive away. Slowly, she begins to feel comforted by his presence. She smiles, saying she will tell her friends so they can all go together. But he quickly stops her, insisting he will only take her, along with her belongings. Trusting his tone, she agrees and follows him to the car. The vehicle gleams and she finds herself impressed. The man seems proud of his car, speaking with ease. She relaxes a little, asking softly if there will be many people at the secret beach. He reassures her that only a few locals and some children might be there. Relief washes over her as she thinks how perfect that would be for Rin and the others, free from the crowds. But then voice drops, telling her a girl like her should never be alone. She laughs nervously, admitting she only came because of him. The man looks at her with an unsettling calm. He points out that after such a terrifying moment, she climbed straight into a stranger's car. The realization chills Nana, and the car slows to a stop. Her breath catches as he places his hand on her leg, his voice dripping. She freezes, unable to move as he leans closer. His words sound twisted, telling her to treat this as a summer memory. Tears sting her eyes, her mind screaming for her friends. With a sharp crack, the windshield shatters, causing Nana to scream. Kazu bursts forward, shouting her name and asking if she is safe. The man curses, furious over his broken windshield. Kazu lifts his phone, showing a photo of the scene, his voice hard as he says he can call the police with proof in hand. The man glares, his rage boiling, before spitting curses and speeding away into the distance. Breathless, Nana clutches herself as Kazu steps closer, asking if she is hurt. He explains that when he saw her step into the car, something inside him grew restless. So he followed, and what he witnessed only confirmed his fear. She laughs shakily about the car, but her voice breaks as tears fall, and she admits how terrifying it was. He steadies her, assuring her that she is safe now. In the quiet that follows, she begs him not to tell Rin. This moment becomes a secret only between the two of them. Though the day has shaken her deeply, she silently hopes that next summer they can still return here together. Back at school, the midterm results are announced. Nervous students gather around the notice board to check their rankings. Murmurs spread when Rin's name appears in the top 10. Everyone stares in surprise, whispering that she must be studying all the time at home to score that high. Far from the chatter, Rin sits at home with a book in her lap. The title is about strengthening the bond of marriage. As she reads, a faint heaviness settles in her chest. She begins to feel that something has been off between her and Kazu lately. She wonders how she can make their relationship deeper and more alive. The book explains that as time passes, marriages often lose their initial spark. Passion fades, replaced by comfort and routine. The words strike her like a cold wind. She feels as though the page is describing her own life. A shiver of worry runs through her. She wonders what she should do to stop their bond from turning colorless. She turns to the next section. It speaks of ways for women to appear more appealing. She realizes the truth in it. They skipped the stage of being lovers and stepped directly into marriage. For the first time, it dawns on her that she must charm Kazu again, reminding him of her femininity. Determined, she begins to study the methods carefully. The scene shifts to the school cafeteria. They sit across from each other, a quiet tension hanging between them. Their gazes meet, both nervous. Taking a breath, Rin decides to try strategy number 1, mirroring. The book had said it was a simple way to build connection by copying the other person's actions. At that moment, Tachibana leans in, asking Kazu to trade a piece of his fried chicken for some of his pork cutlet. Nana, seeing this, thanks him sweetly, believing the food is for her. Kazu reaches for the fried chicken. Rin, intent on copying, picks Nana's hamburger as well. A beat later, Rin realizes that imitating everything so literally makes her seem strange. She quickly shifts to strategy number 2, physical contact. She squeezes too much cream into her palms, then offers some to Kazu with feigned innocence. Her heart races, recalling that touch is the fastest way to close distance. When he hesitantly takes her hands, hope sparks only to fade as his expression stiffens. She asks if he finds it disgusting. He shakes his head, saying he just worried about his phone screen. Her hope collapses, frustration burning as none of her efforts seem to work. Clenching her fists, she decides to use her final resort, manipulation. Without hesitation, she sends him a message to meet her alone on the rooftop after school. Her thoughts turn heavy. She convinces herself that surely now he will start becoming more conscious of her as a woman. When he arrives, he looks at her with quiet concern and asks why she called him out here so suddenly. She falters. Words fail her. She had thought about manipulation, but she has no idea how to actually carry it out. A wave of confusion leaves her frozen, unsure of what to do next. Just then, voices drift over from nearby. Rinka's heart jumps. Without thinking, she grabs his hand and pulls him behind the wall with her. Watching the couple's playful flirting, envy twists inside her. She wishes she could be like that too, wrapped in his arms, perhaps even kissing him. Overwhelmed, she suddenly clings to him. His body stiffens in shock. His voice comes out nervous as he tells her she is too close. Her eyes lifted to his and she asks if he dislikes it, reminding him gently that they are married. She leans even closer, insisting it is natural for a husband and wife to embrace and show love. His breath stumbles. Before he can speak, her emotions snap. Anger bursts out of her. Her voice rises sharply, echoing across the rooftop. Her glare fixes on the couples and she scolds them harshly, calling their behavior unhealthy. Kazu watches in stunned silence as she storms away, unable to calm her fury. Left behind, he struggles to make sense of what just happened. Yet even through the confusion, he recalls how her fragrance was so sweet. Later that night, Rin lies alone in her room. Anxiety grips her as she replays the rooftop incident in her mind. Embarrassment creeps in as she remembers the words she said. The setting shifts to the Black Plains sulfur mine. As soon as Kazu arrives, a wave of excitement hits him. It has been a long time since his last mining session, and the familiar atmosphere makes his chest stir. Looking around, his eyes brighten when he notices Nana's avatar, Sturman Griff. She greets him warmly, saying Nana is fine, and the two decide to mine together. As they make their way forward, she casually points out that she has been online a lot recently. His tone grows more serious as he asks about Rin, wondering how she has been spending her days. Nana explains that she is busy with vocal training, adding that she naturally has more lessons than the other girls. Hearing this, he pauses, realizing how demanding the life of an idol must be. As they continue forward, Nana points ahead curiously, asking about a narrow path. He notices immediately that the ground is poorly maintained and dangerous. He advises against it, but she insists, her eyes shining with determination. She tells him that the harder the path, the rarer the ores they will find. Unable to deny her enthusiasm, he finally agrees. The narrow passage leads them into a damp and shadowy area. The air is heavy, and the floor is slick with moisture. He warns her to be careful on the slippery ground. Amidst the dim silence, she suddenly asks how long he and Rin have been dating in the game. Kazu answers plainly, explaining they met 4 years ago and only recently married. Her eyes widen at the thought, and she softly admits she wishes she could be married someday too. He tells her that marriage has its own joys and comforts, and it feels truly fulfilling. She lowers her gaze and confesses that she has no one. Concerned, he asks if she really has no one on her friend list. She admits that apart from Rin and him, there is only one other character named Nonoa. He points out that it might be suspicious if he were to marry Nonoa. She, however, argues gently that marriage in the game does not reflect real life at all. Her words bring Rin to his mind and he realizes Nana is right. He remembers how Rin has been unusually close to him lately. Out of nowhere, Nana asks if he has a girlfriend in real life. Embarrassed, he denies it, saying he doubts any girl would find him interesting. Her eyes widen, and she blurts out that she always thought he was cool. Grateful, he thanks her quietly. Her thoughts grow restless. A strange warmth builds inside her, and she begins to wonder if perhaps someone really does like him. Hearing this, he stammers nervously, wishing such a person existed at their school. Nana stammers too, her words tangled, and he stares in surprise, trying to catch what she just said. Before the tension can settle, their eyes fall on something extraordinary. A radiant philosopher's stone gleams before them. He whispers that it is the first time he has ever seen one. At the same moment, she spots a glowing flying jade and calls out. His jaw drops, astonishment filling him as his eyes then land on yet another treasure, an infinity stone. Shock overwhelms them both, unable to believe such rare items could be gathered in one place. The next day at school, he struggles to stay awake, yawning endlessly. Rin approaches him with concern, noting how sleepy he looks. He explains that he spent the previous night mining with Sturman. Watching him so casually, the classmates are left baffled, whispering that he truly cannot read the atmosphere. Suddenly, Nana appears from behind, her voice cheerful as she greets him. He brightens immediately, thanking her for helping with mining the previous day. She replies with equal happiness, calling the appearance of such rare ores nothing short of a huge stroke of luck. He reminds her that there are still more ores waiting to be found, and they come up with a plan to use mining carts for next time. Both decide they should return right after school. Rin watches from a distance. Jealousy burns in her chest, her face tightening as their voices carry. The more she listens, the angrier she becomes. Without a word, she sends Kazu a message, summoning him to the rooftop. Seeing the text, he sighs quietly. He has grown used to Rin calling him like this. When he arrives, Rin faces him seriously and tells him to listen carefully, asking if he knows the reason she called him out. He admits he does not. She makes him confirm aloud that they are a married couple. His thoughts slip immediately to the game, but her words cut sharper. She tells him that meeting someone of the opposite sex in secret, without one's partner knowing, is cheating. He tries to reason that it is only in the game, but she does not waver. Her voice trembles with emotion as she insists that no matter what, it is still cheating, and with her best friend no less. He urges her to calm down and talk it through. To his surprise, her anger softens. She confesses that what truly hurt her was seeing him and Nana so close in places she had no idea about. Jealousy had overwhelmed her. Her honesty leaves him stunned. She continues, saying that from another person's perspective, it is painful and frustrating. His expression changes as he understands. He apologizes sincerely for not being considerate. She lowers her eyes, admitting she too was wrong for getting angry without reason. The two stand in silence, gazes locked. His hand rests gently on her shoulder. Startled, he quickly pulls back, apologizing for touching her. But her eyes stay firm as she tells him with all seriousness that her feelings for him are real. Before the weight of her words can sink in, Nana appears, her voice sharp as she calls out Rin's name. Both freeze, shocked to see her standing there. Nana steps closer, her expression unwavering, and asks Rin not to continue. Rin's face twists in confusion, demanding to know why. Nana answers firmly as she reveals the truth. She too holds the same feelings as her. Rin is stunned by Nana's confession. When Nana turns to run, Rin grabs her hand. With a faint, apologetic smile, Nana says she has decided to support them instead. Rin, holding on, asks if she truly likes Kazu. Nana only smiles, letting Rin feel the answer before gently pulling away and walking off. The following day, Kazu enters the classroom, and Katone immediately notices him. With a teasing tone, she calls him a rare guest and jokingly asks what he has come to get. Flustered, he asks about Nana. Katone casually replies that she is absent today and wonders aloud if she is all right. Hearing this, he thanks her quietly and steps away, uneasiness weighing on him. The incident from yesterday still lingers in his mind, and Rin has yet to tell him what really happened. Meanwhile, Rin sits alone on the terrace, Nana's words echoing in her mind. Her chest feels heavy. She regrets not saying anything at that moment and reflects on how half-hearted kindness can sometimes wound deeper than cruelty itself. Her heart spins in turmoil, caught between confusion, anger, and sorrow. Thinking of Kazu and Nana together twists at her, making her realize how important Nana is to her, yet also forcing her to face the truth that she cannot simply let him go. The conflict deepens inside her, leaving her torn and uncertain. As the cold wind brushes over her, her sister suddenly appears, placing a blanket over her shoulders. She gently warns Rin that she will catch a cold if she stays outside like this. With a kind smile, she reminds Rin that if something is troubling her, she is always there to listen. Rin hesitates, then asks with quiet seriousness what she would do if she and her best friend both liked the same person. She wonders if her sister would choose the friend or the crush. Without hesitation, her sister answers that she would choose both, questioning why anyone should believe it has to be one or the other. She explains that there is no reason to end a friendship just because two people share the same feelings, and she reminds her that her bond with Nana runs deeper than such things. For a moment, Rin freezes at the mention of Nana's name, even though she never actually said it. Her sister then advises her gently that the best way forward is to talk directly with the person involved. In the end, she reassures her that the decision is hers to make. Rin takes in her sister's words, thanks her sincerely, and, though still tangled in emotions, heads to bed. Before leaving, she wishes her sister good night. The next day, Nana stands on the tennis court, her chest tight with nerves. Today, of all days, she has to be paired against Rin. The thought alone makes her uneasy. Suddenly, she hears her name being called. Turning, she sees Rin standing behind her, asking her to come closer. Kazu, noticing the atmosphere, walks over and asks what is happening. The chatter around the court quickly spreads. Everyone is excited that Rin and Nana are about to face each other in a match. Curious and concerned, Kazu stays to watch. On the court, Nana struggles with her emotions, but Rin's determination is unwavering. In her heart, she resolves not to let go of Kazu. With a firm voice, she tells Nana she will not give up on their relationship. Her eyes sharp, she challenges Nana, declaring that if she truly thinks she can take Kazu from her, then she should go ahead and try. Suddenly, Rin smashes the ball across the net, its speed sharp and fierce. Nana reels in shock, her voice trembling as she tries to explain that she never meant to betray her. Rin meets her gaze steadily, telling her she does not see it as betrayal. The crowd is captivated, watching the fierce intensity of the match. They are amazed at the powerful rally between the two. Kazu, growing uneasy, finally speaks up, asking everyone around to stop speculating and let the game continue. On the court, Rin's voice carries through the match. She tells Nana that she cannot let go of either her or Kazu. Losing either of them is something she cannot bear. Hearing this, Nana's emotions overwhelm her. Her eyes well with tears until she breaks down, crying loudly. Rin, still focused and resolute, thanks her, affirming that she is determined and ready to face everything head-on. When Rin arrives at school the next morning, the students turn their heads in surprise, whispering among themselves. Just then, Nana walks up to her with a bright smile and greets her cheerfully with a good morning. Rin returns the greeting with happiness, but the words from the previous day suddenly echo in her mind, making her wonder what Nana truly intends with Kazu. As she studies her closely, she notices her youthful, radiant face. Compared to herself, she realizes Nana belongs to the super cute type. On top of that, her warm personality makes her approachable, surrounded by many friends and naturally adored by the boys. Watching her, she cannot deny her popularity, and it stirs a quiet determination in her heart. She resolves to find out exactly what Kazu's type really is. Later in the classroom, surrounded by chatter, Rin suddenly asks Kazu about his type. The words slip from her mouth before she can stop herself, and embarrassment quickly floods her cheeks, especially with Nana sitting right beside her. The entire class grows tense, puzzled by why she would ask something so private here of all places. Kazu tries to lighten the mood, joking that perhaps his type is MMORPGs. But Rin presses on with quiet seriousness, clarifying that she means his type of girl. Caught off guard, he admits he has never really thought about it. After a moment, he answers that perhaps a kind person would be his type. Rin feels a rush of relief. It matches what she had expected, but the classmates aren't satisfied. They lean forward, urging him to share more, pressing for details about appearance. Flustered, Kazu wonders aloud what has gotten into everyone. At that moment, Kotone jumps in with a playful smirk and asks if he prefers long hair or short. Rin instantly perks up, her eyes fixed on him. He answers honestly that both are nice, but if he had to choose, he prefers long hair. Rin's face brightens, delight shining through her expression. But the questions keep coming. Another student eagerly asks if he prefers the elegant type or the cute type. He pauses, then admits he would choose the cute type. This round, she realizes, belongs to Nana. In her mind, she calculates bitterly now the score is tied, and the contest between them is far from over. Suddenly, Taishibana blurts out a bolder question. The classroom freezes in shock at the bluntness of it. Yet, despite her disbelief, curiosity coils inside her. She needs to know the answer. After a brief silence, Kazu replies calmly that he prefers them bigger. Rin's expression crumbles. It feels as if the world has shattered around her. She stares blankly, overwhelmed by despair, thinking the world is far too cruel. The saying that heaven never gives two gifts runs bitterly through her mind, but in Nana's case, she feels as though every gift has been handed to her at once. Seeing her devastation, Kotone quickly steps in, trying to console her. She tells her she understands her pain, reminding her lightly that in the end, it is just a lump of flesh. But Rin feels no comfort. Instead, she sinks further into despair, thinking to herself that Nana has everything. Her size is beyond normal. Meanwhile, the other students keep crowding around Kazu, throwing more awkward and outrageous questions. Finally, Nana's patience breaks. She raises her voice, commanding everyone to stop, and the room falls silent. Turning toward Rin, her eyes filled with resolve, she speaks clearly and firmly. She declares that the person she truly loves is not Kazu at all, but Rin herself. The classroom falls into complete shock, the air heavy with silence. She steps forward, explaining further, making it unmistakably clear she has always been speaking about Rin, the very person she likes. Rin's mind spins, replaying every word Nana had ever said. She realizes in disbelief that not once had Nana mentioned Kazu. Still trembling, Rin reminds her with serious hesitation that they are both girls, but Nana refuses to accept that. With unwavering determination, she tells her that her feelings are not bound by rules. She insists that she loves her because it is her, no one else, and nothing can change that. She admits that even if she had been born a boy, her feelings would have been exactly the same. She confesses she has carried this love in silence for so long, knowing it was unrequited. Rin's happiness always came first, which is why she supported her relationship with Kazu. But as the two of them grew closer, jealousy began to eat away at her, leaving her restless. She admits she even wanted to interfere, and because of those thoughts, she came to despise herself. Yet despite all of that, Rin forgave her and told her she needed her. That one moment gave Nana the strength to keep moving forward. Clasping Rin's hand tightly, she promises with firm resolve that she will never give up. Rin is left utterly speechless. Before she can respond, Nana turns and steps toward Kazu and warns him with absolute seriousness that one day, she will take Rin away from him and tells him to be ready for it. The scene shifts to Rin's house. The air is filled with the aroma of freshly prepared dishes. The table is set with care, the home decorated warmly, and her heart brimming with excitement. She doesn't mind the dent it leaves in her wallet because today marks her and Kazu's first anniversary. She even bought a special gift just for this day, and now she waits eagerly for him to arrive. When he steps inside, her face lights up with pure joy. But he stops in his tracks, stunned by the decorations around him. With a puzzled expression, he asks what all of this means. She explains that today is a special day, admitting softly that she might have gone overboard. He still looks puzzled, his brows furrowed. She, with hope glimmering in her tone, suggests that after dinner they could go together to Mount Love Kanea to watch the stars. She adds that the lakeside would also be a romantic spot, and with shy hesitation she mentions the possibility of sharing the same bed. Her words leave him frozen, caught completely off guard. He asks again what this day is supposed to mean. Her cheerful glow begins to fade into frustration. Anger flickers in her eyes as she demands if he is making fun of her. He quickly tries to guess. First, he suggests it might be her birthday. Her shoulders slump, disappointment clouding her expression. Watching her face, he quickly tries again, this time saying it must be the day of the Starzane formation. Her irritation sharpens, and she snaps that this too is wrong. After a long pause, he, convinced this time, says with confidence that today must be the anniversary of the Black Plains. At that, her patience breaks. Her voice rises in fiery anger as she yells at him, unable to believe he could forget something so important. It's the next day at school. Snow lies across the grounds and Rin walks with a heavy heart. Sadness lingers in her eyes as she faces Kazu and reminds him that forgetting their first anniversary was deeply inconsiderate. Kazu suggests celebrating it again today and gently asks for her forgiveness. She stands quietly and lifts her gaze with thoughtful seriousness, and tells him that as punishment, she wants him to escort her home. As they begin walking together, the cold air bites at their skin. She notices him shielding her from the icy wind, even as he sneezes. Guilt stirs in her chest, making her feel unfair for putting him through this. Suddenly, she bends down, scoops up a snowball and tosses it at him. He looks at her in surprise, confusion flickering in his eyes. She answers with a bright smile, suggesting they play since the snow is piled so high. He agrees, and soon they are laughing and chasing each other in the cold, their joy echoing in the air. As the playful moment stretches on, her smile falters. Deep inside, she reflects seriously that maybe he only sees her as a friend. But before the thought can consume her, a snowball hits her face directly. She gasps at the shock, and he rushes toward her in alarm, asking if she is okay. In that moment, she gathers her courage. In a serious tone, she asks him to hold her hand. He hesitates, nerves tightening in him, worried about being seen. She suggests calmly that they can take another route. He takes her hand, feeling how cold it is, just as she feels the chill in his. The two of them walk together. Her heart beats wildly, making her wonder if he can hear it simply through her hands. To her, it feels like she is the only one trembling with such excitement. She leans her head gently against his shoulder, warmth spreading through her despite the cold. For her, this moment feels right. In her heart, she still holds tightly to the dream that someday she will become his bride. The thought fills her with peace while he walks beside her, his cheeks flushed with quiet embarrassment. Kazu walks with his belongings, a satisfied smile on his face. He thinks to himself that the Black Plains pop-up cafe is truly the best, and he feels even happier knowing he managed to grab the limited edition goods he wanted. From a corner ahead, Kotone spots him. Her expression is full of delight. When he notices her, he blinks in confusion for a moment, before realizing it is her. The coincidence surprises them both. Kotone, laughing lightly, comments that she never imagined he actually goes out on his days off. She admits she thought he was the kind to stay cooped up at home all day, lost in games. As he reflects, he realizes he usually spends his free time with Rin or Nana, which is why others don't notice much. Looking at Kotone now as more people glance her way, he also realizes that she truly does look cute. Kotone, curious, asks which store he visited. With confidence, he tells her about the Black Plains pop-up cafe and even invites her to see it herself. He goes on and on about how great it was. He then asks her about her day. She confesses that she had ended up on a blind date. She explains that a friend from another school invited her to karaoke, but when she arrived, it turned out to be a blind date. She laughs a little, recalling how she excused herself to go to the bathroom and then slipped away. Suddenly, she grows serious, asking him if he is free tonight. Caught off guard, he admits he isn't busy and had just planned to head straight home. Her smile widens as she happily suggests they hang out together. They arrive at a shop called Escape from Another World. Kazu doesn't quite get it, but her excitement makes it clear that this is something new and thrilling. Inside, he realizes it's a puzzle game. He quickly confesses that puzzles aren't his strong point. She reassures him with confidence, reminding him it's all about inspiration. An announcement declares they have 60 minutes and the challenge begins. He stares at the puzzles, completely lost, while she immediately spots the solution. He watches in surprise as she explains that the diagram shows outstretched fingers, and the numbers represent the letters and words linked to each finger. As they continue, she points out that the next puzzle uses items, her expression lively and engaged. To Kazu, it feels a little childish, but he keeps going. The announcement cuts in again. Only 1 minute remains. Kotone quickly gives an answer, celebrating what feels like a victory. Yet Kazu senses something is off. He studies the puzzle more carefully and finally realizes the trick. When he gives a different answer, she looks at him in surprise. He explains calmly that in this world, people read right to left. Unlike the first problem where the resident's eyes moved left to right, she stares at him in astonishment, realizing that the password must be reversed. They input the answer just as the time runs out. Soon the results are announced. The host reviews all riddles and confirms Kazu's solution as the correct one. Their team is declared the winner. Kotone bursts into joy, shouting happily, while Kazu quietly tells her she's being loud. She laughs, apologizing, and asks if she was the only one having fun. He reassures her it isn't true, admitting he enjoyed it a lot too. The escape room was full of clever tricks and puzzles, and she explains with excitement that every solution brings a rush like nothing else. They both agree they should come again sometime. Just then, the group from Kotone's blind date appears. They stop in front of her, demanding to know why she left. Kazu, surprised, asks if she knows them. Calmly, Kotone explains that they are the same people from earlier. Noticing Kazu beside her, they ask if he is her friend. She answers simply that he is from her school. One of the boys mentions they are going bowling. Kotone's eyes light up, and she says she would like to join. She even invites Kazu along, but one of the boys tells them that there isn't enough space for two. Kazu, unfazed, tells Kotone gently that she should go with them while he heads home. She agrees, though, with a hint of reluctance. As he leaves, she feels a little disappointed. The group immediately begins mocking Kazu in front of her, ridiculing his t-shirt, saying wearing something like that in Shibuya is ridiculous, and questioning how she could possibly want to walk beside him. She listens quietly before responding. She admits that his outfit truly was nerdy, and that he doesn't seem to care what others think. Even alone with a girl, he only talks about web games. But with firm conviction, she adds that despite all of that, he is still a million times more interesting than they are. Without another word, she says goodbye and walks away, leaving them speechless. She runs after Kazu, surprised to see her. He asks what happened to bowling. She smiles warmly, telling him she decided to eat ramen and go straight home instead. He points out that the boy was handsome, but Kotone, without hesitation, replies that he wasn't her type at all. The scene shifts when Kazu arrives at the auditorium. He is struck by its sheer size. Standing in line, a nervous energy settles over him. This is his very first live show experience. Looking around, he notices the line stretching to its end. He waits for hours only to find that he was standing in the souvenir line all along. When he finally gets inside, Nonoa suddenly rushes to his side and wraps him in a hug, her bright smile instantly easing the moment. Kasumi appears soon after, gently scolding her younger sister for running off. Seeing them together, Kazu realizes everyone has finally arrived. Kasumi explains that Nonoa had been eager to come early. She teases him after seeing him carry Rinka's merchandise. Once he makes his way to the audience area, he seriously questions whether it's even okay for him to be in the VIP section. Kasumi quietly explains that idols aren't usually allowed to bring friends. When her sister told the manager she was inviting him, she was left shocked to hear about her growing social circle. The hall is packed to the brim, and Kazu realizes how incredibly difficult it must have been to secure tickets. For the first time, the scale of her popularity truly sinks in. When the show begins, the lights blaze and the atmosphere erupts with energy. Rin and the others step onto the stage, their voices igniting the crowd. Kazu, eyes fixed on them, feels swept away by the excitement. His gaze shifts to Nana, and he immediately notices how her presence lifts the entire performance. Her singing blends seamlessly into the group, elevating the stage. He expected nothing less from a Star Mines idol. But when his eyes find Rin, he forgets everything else. Her voice, perfectly suited for pop, flows out with clarity and power. The way she commands the stage leaves him completely captivated. The cheers of the audience rise higher, fueling the performance, and he himself feels the thrill rushing through him. Hearing live what he had only known through recordings strikes him deeply. It feels raw, alive, almost addictive. As she begins another song, his astonishment grows. Her voice is crystal clear, delicate yet filled with strength, her vocal range astonishing. To him, it feels as though she has transformed into someone entirely different. His eyes widen in wonder, overwhelmed by her ability. When Rin casually mentions that she trains 5 days a week, the pieces fall into place. He reflects quietly, realizing he had been right all along. Inviting her here was the best decision he could have made. By the time he returns home, he is still buzzing from the experience. Today's show was truly the best. No video could ever compare to seeing it live. He remembers how she once claimed she wasn't good at dancing, yet on stage she looked flawless. The final part of the performance replays in his mind again and again, leaving a mark he knows won't fade easily. Throughout the entire show, his focus had never strayed from Rin. Watching her like that, shining with confidence and talent, he feels a quiet certainty forming inside him. He has become more than just her supporter in the game. He has become a genuine fan of hers. The scene shifts to Nana's house, where she casually tells Rin about an online date she has planned. With a playful tone, she wonders if Kazu would want to join them as well. Kazu, caught off guard, wonders if it would even count as a date if he came along. She waves off his concern, saying he shouldn't sweat the small stuff. She admits that she would rather have Rin all to herself, but she knows it would be unfair to gain an advantage like this. When he logs into the game world, Nana greets him with a sharp reminder that he is late. He explains with equal seriousness that the time was set for 10 o'clock, but she insists that for dates he should always arrive 10 minutes early. His eyes narrow on her appearance, realizing that she is wearing the premium tuxedo cosmetic. She confirms it is meant for a rare occasion. On the other hand, Kazu is dressed in his usual clothes. Watching him act so nonchalant, she realizes this is her chance. In her mind, she thinks carefully, if she takes care of Rin during this date, and if she can prove she is better at this than him, it might just change everything. Rin logs in soon after, apologizing softly for being late. Nana reassures her that they had also just logged in, though Kazu points out with a teasing edge that she is 5 minutes late. Nana's irritation rises. She steadies herself and turns her attention to Rin's outfit. She remarks that this dress really does look cute on her. Kazu then asks if her outfit is the same one that had limited availability during the latest event. Hearing this, Nana feels a pang of disappointment, realizing she should have done more research. With a smile, Rin asks where they are heading. Confidently, Nana takes charge, saying she knows just the place. She leads them to the highest point on the Black Plains, a breathtaking spot she had carefully picked after asking people online for recommendations. The view opens up around them, vast and beautiful, and for a moment, Nana feels thankful she chose this location. But Rin gazes out calmly and mentions that she has been here before, explaining with a smile that she has visited this spot several times with Kazu. The revelation sinks in like a weight, leaving Nana quietly disappointed. She had believed this place was a hidden gem, something only she could offer. As Rin and Kazu talk, Rin explains that casual players rarely come here. Their conversation flows easily, and Nana's heart twists as she asks what they are supposed to do next. Before anyone can respond, something stirs in the distance. From the sky, a massive hawk-shaped world boss descends, its shadow stretching across the plains. Nana freezes, alarmed, and demands to know what it is. Rin, steady and calm, explains that this is a world boss, and that this area is its spawn point, usually requiring dozens of players to defeat. Nana realizes immediately that this is the worst possible place for a date. Panic edges into her voice as she suggests they run, but Kazu, focused and unshaken, urges Rin to handle it. Without hesitation, Rin draws her bow and unleashes a flurry of arrows. Her shots strike with precision, one landing directly in the hawk's open mouth. Kazu takes charge next. He draws his sword and charges, striking the world boss with everything he has. The attack does heavy damage, defeating the boss with a single strike. Nana, wide-eyed, can only watch, realizing what an incredible team they make together. Her voice softens with awe as she takes it all in. Kazu remarks with curiosity on Rin's overwhelming strength. Kazu reveals that within certain circles, Rin is already known as one of the most powerful players. With Kazu at level 241, Rin at level 207, and Nana only at level 4, the gap feels immeasurable. Nana reflects quietly. She has heard Rin's stories about love, but never about her casual gameplay, and now it dawns on her they have shared this world for far longer than she realized. Watching them together, her chest tightens with a mix of admiration and longing. She finds herself wishing she could spend more time with her, and for the first time, she admits inwardly that she never imagined the two of them would look so perfect side by side. On his way home, Kazu unexpectedly runs into Rin. With a gentle tone, she tells him that it is about time she finally meets his parents. Kazu tries to make the excuse that they both work late. With a playful glint in her eyes, she tells him that this is even better since it gives them more time alone together. She assures him that she will come no matter what. Kazu freezes, caught off guard by her words. He admits he doesn't really mind, but unease slips in. A thought strikes him whether it is even proper for a boy to be alone at home with a girl. The idea unsettles him enough that he pulls out his phone, considering inviting others to make it less awkward. She stops him, telling him it is better if it is just the two of them. Unable to come up with any more excuses, Kazu is left with no other choice but to give in. When they arrive at his home, Rin steps into his room and takes it in with curious eyes. Kazu, flustered, explains earnestly that he tried to clean, but it still ended up a little messy. Her gaze moves around until it catches on a poster of her hanging on the wall. She pauses, half surprised and half amused, teasing him about how his plain room still somehow features a poster of her. Embarrassed, he blurts out that he's her fan. She smirks, amused, and says that if that is the case, then he deserves a little fan service. She strikes a playful pose to imitate the poster. It works better than she thought, as he makes her do other posters as well. Later, they decide to clean the room. Kazu protests, insisting she doesn't have to, but Rin refuses to listen. With lighthearted determination, she says she wants her husband to have a clean room. As she tidies, she notices how his room feels lived in and full of character, while the rest of the house looks empty and lifeless, almost as though nobody uses those spaces at all. In the middle of cleaning, her eyes fall on something unexpected, his underwear. Shocked, she blurts out why it is lying around. He realizes what she is holding and casually remarks that now he finally knows where it was. He seems relieved, but she is furious. She scolds him harshly, calling him careless, and cannot believe he would just leave his clothes lying around like this. Rin stammers that she didn't think she would be doing something so indecent. Kazu, confused, asks, what exactly is indecent about it? For a moment, he finds her reaction strangely interesting, as if this side of her is one he always expected to see. She brushes it off and resumes her cleaning. As she organizes, her movements slow, and she falls into quiet thought. She wonders what life would be like if they were truly married, living together in this very space. She imagines raising a child with him, and warmth fills her chest. Just then, Kazu interrupts her daydream. Startled, she quickly turns her face aside, embarrassed. She doesn't want him to see her expression, knowing she must be smiling like a fool. Evening settles in, and they finally finish cleaning. Kazu steps out to throw it away, and when he returns, he finds her asleep. He remembers how she mentioned earlier that it was her first day off in weeks. She had been buried in lessons without a break for 2 straight weeks. Exhausted as she must have been, she still came here and helped him clean. As she sleeps, she murmurs his name softly. Kazu watches her in silence, and in that moment, every side of her runs through his mind. Her smile, her tears, her laughter. Without thinking, he gently reaches out, brushing his fingers through her hair. He sits down at the head of the bed beside her. The evening breeze drifts in through the window, cool and calming. Wrapped in the quiet of the room, he feels deeply at ease, and slowly he drifts into sleep beside her.
Here I am, know it's been a while. I was in denial about my love. Here I stand, I know I walked away.